Happy heat wave, everybody. Game changers, 1 year later. I modified the settings on my dyna-sync. You can check out my video on dyna-sync setup. So what I did is I got this thing all the way down. I actually brought the beaters closer to the head by about 1 inch, but the modification on the plate here actually changed the angle quite a bit, so I had to adjust the game changer using the scale. So it's almost all the way back, but even with the massive change, and I gotta say the distance here between the base plate and the footboard didn't change. I have it at 73 millimeters. I calculated with a caliper when I made the switch. So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. Basically, I decided to change the setup because I was having a hard time with certain fast parts, such as playing trills, for example, going from foot to foot on the bass drum. So I decided to modify the geometry of this thing using the settings on it. I found that having the beater closer and the footboard basically shortened the distance here between the footboard and the drive. Just gave it a little bit more speed, which is what I'm after. All right, but with using the game changers, I was able to accommodate that change without changing the actual placement of the plate itself, just using that little scale. So kudos for that. It was awesome. I'm really happy about that. First time in a year I actually pull off this Velcro. Hey, you can see it here. I hope the camera is good enough here. Basically, it looks just like when I took it out of the box. That's amazing. Okay, so, you know, I'm in my 40s. I have a day job. I have responsibilities. I don't play nearly as much as I used to, or definitely not as much as I would want to. So, let's say I used to put about 1,000 hours of pure practice between my kit when I was in my 20s. Well, nowadays it's more... you know, I'm lucky if I get a half hour, 45 minutes. On Saturdays, I get a couple hours. I use those. I recorded a whole album using those for monitoring and all that stuff. So I estimated, I crunched some numbers, anywhere between 260 and let's say 320 hours of playing that I put on those, you know, across the board. Recording, producing content, practicing and all that, and it looks brand new. It still looks brand new. Granted, okay, I don't play shows, you know, but I keep my stuff pretty clean, so that's big, you know, vacuuming, oiling, all that. These are maintenance free, so I don't touch those. I just, you know, make sure they don't get full of dirt, that's all. Yeah, but they work just as good as the first day I took them out. The settings, like I hardly ever get double trigs. If there's ever anything misfiring or whatever on this, it's usually my fault. It's not the fault of the unit. It's usually because I did something technically kind of weird. I had some sort of spaz in my legs or whatever. So anyways, I just wanted to touch up on that real quick this week and tell you guys that these are awesome. I totally stand by those. Best trigger unit I've ever used. I used D-drums and Roland kick triggers back in the days. You know, external units. With 2 bass drums, it wasn't too bad. But this is by far, like, way superior. Just a simple thing today anyways. Game changers, 1 year later, totally still awesome, totally efficient. I deeply recommend anyone who wanna up their triggering game to get a set of those. And now I've got some practicing to do because I'm working up for another derelict playthrough. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next week.